It's 10:46 on the 17th of June, so I stand corrected with regard to my previous upload, and the date I think I mentioned is the 16th of June. That's what happens when you wake up early to individuals causing discomfort and disharmony, I suppose, in a society that I would hope would be of democracy and zero tolerance. I suppose for this upload I'm highlighting the discrepancies between the past and the present. It's common knowledge in the community that there has been awful racketeering, financial fraud from the southwest of Ireland that my recovery advocacy has addressed. Those people that have been living off other people's wealth have caused awful upset in society. They've really caused a lot of damage, and they're still causing damage in society, and they haven't cleaned up their act at all. So excuse me, the problems that they're causing to this very day, as they've always caused problems, is an issue for this upload that I would like addressed and resolved. The monetary fund of the international community is after having a huge transformation as a consequence of the legislation that came from the southwest of Ireland and my recovery advocacy of 20 years. These people are thinking that they're changing their identities, their status, their title or their position, and they're qualifying themselves now. It's absolutely hilarious. They're giving themselves new qualifications after being involved in the sex industry and after contaminating society with illness. These people are still in society, and they've been exploiting from my purpose, and they've been on my professional portfolio and my property, where I don't condone them to be at all whatsoever. Now, they've harmed women and men's health, and they have been of that industry that has contaminated. And my recovery advocacy has helped resolve and repair, and it has recovered people's wealth and health. Now, there are people in this community that think they're taking credit for 25 years of education and narcotics addiction recovery advocacy from me. And they have done nothing except pollute society and steal from people. Good people have been stolen from. It's really serious that these people have not been able to work with the proper facts of the matter. They have been of retaliatory offences. They have been of foul play and fraud from my wealth since 2006. I'm still awaiting, to this date. I'm a property owner, I'm a royal mother, and I am of worldwide legislation, and to this date these people are still, ASBOs, mentally disturbed enough that after contaminating women and men's health in an industry that has damaged the arts and the entertainment world, these people have called themselves social influencers, and they've done nothing but bring down the standards of any kind of social interaction, engagement or transactions. They've brought down the standards of Ireland prior to 2019, and they're implicating and intruding where they have absolutely scrap qualification or entitlement to ever intrude upon a royal. It's as simple as that. These people have entitled themselves from other people's wealth and fortune. They have done squat about what they're supposed to be doing. It's really serious, and they consider themselves adult, and they consider themselves to be professionals. But what they're missing is the point that in this community there was an awful level of crime being conducted against people's wealth and fortune, and to this day that's still being transacted and conducted. Now, I'm debt free. I don't have to explain myself to anyone. I don't have to explain myself, basically. I'm a royal, and I'm not deluded about my capacity or my obligations. I've served this country. I've been of worldwide legislation in the past 5 years. Is it 5 or 6 years? And there are people deluded enough to distort the reality and to continue living off my property where they're highly unsafe. So those people that don't understand what debt-free is, they need to calculate their sums from what has been racketeered from County Kerry, the southwest of Ireland, over the past 15 years. So my recovery advocacy that has restored people's wealth and health has been damaged And that is because of people that are retaliatory financial fraud incidents and still not realizing that with my faith, their debt and their financial fraud isn't very safe for them to be embroiling themselves with. I'm aware that there are young people out there confused about where they are on the ladder. But unfortunately, they're not going to be helping themselves with nepotism, living off any other person's qualifications or credentials. I've been serving the state since about 23, so my contributions to the state in the form of legislation now in the most recent 5 years is an accomplishment, an achievement that I'm very, very proud of, and I would hope that there wouldn't be ASBOs with mental illness damaging that or putting it at risk without any intelligent behaviour on display. So the United Kingdom, you're aware of what the Fellowship of Narcotics and Alcoholics Recovery Advocates have to contend with when there are ASBOs in a society lining their pockets, living off other people's wealth. There is a retaliatory offence occurring. The state of Ireland owes me a very dangerous debt. I'm also owed debts from the United Kingdom. I do not have any obligations to anyone, only to myself and my child. Anyone that is not honouring their obligations to my royal protocol is automatically at risk of harm to themselves through no fault of their own. Crime does not pay off. So I hope China hears me this morning with regard to zero tolerance politics, with regard to nonsense from the southwest of Ireland by individuals that don't know the policies of paying and honouring their debts and honouring royal protocol. There are people that think they're walking onto a position and property and portfolio that they're simply not qualified or entitled to. So this community, as I have already stated, for the past 15-20 years has been of racketeering. There are retaliatory racketeering offences occurring. I have been of crime prevention, and I have been of health and wealth recovery in the worldwide stage, on the worldwide stage. And if that's at risk, if I'm being offended by ASBOs in society that don't know how to pay their debts or to honour their obligations or to keep off people's property, if they don't understand what punishable crimes are, they might just rehash their events and circumstances of the past 5 years and see if they've learned anything of how the vigilantes in the southwest of Ireland have felt about people being stolen from and being slandered. The vigilantes have had a job in this community because everyone has been up to high dough is what they call it, when people have tolerated enough of ignorant people that have obviously not been trained and that are not fit for society or civil society principles. These people have no authority, they have no entitlement, they are enemies of the state and they are enemies of democracy. So any individual that is of offence against the COVID-19 protocol from my 20 years of advocacy as an educator and as a royal humanitarian is putting the world at risk. Again, these people have caused awful offence on a wide scale, and they're not out of the woods and they're still causing problems. So there's retaliatory racketeering occurring, and the debt I'm owed has still not been paid, and my child is still a missing person. So if anyone has any intelligence or any smart contribution to make, that would be fantastic. But as regards the nonsense and stupidity that I'm contending with as an educator, as an intelligent person with an education behind me, I have worked for the Department of Education, and it is no easy feat going into a classroom and working with what I've had to work with. It's challenging, but it's rewarding, and there are people that aren't fit to even sniff or snide with the qualifications that they're disrespecting. So unless people understand what status or the ladder rungs on the hierarchy mean, they might be careful about who or what they're injuring or insulting. So it's down to basic P's and Q's and people not knowing what etiquette is. NATO, China, I've contacted the European Parliament, I haven't heard anything from them, but NATO is aware of the IMF and the wealth and health recovery that originated from me. So it would be greatly appreciated if the honourable thing could be done, and the ASBOs get the help and mental treatment that they need. Those perverting my phone, continuously causing cybercrime, they're putting their children at risk. I don't know if they understand the reality of dangers that they're doing as ASBOs. It's awful punishable offence for their children to have to carry their cross of bad behaviour. So the sooner that people are able to do what they're supposed to do, then we might have a safer world.